recognition. We have so many amazing volunteers to recognize tonight, but first, thank you to our performers, El Brujo Trio. El Brujo Trio is an acoustic trio playing original compositions. They combine their passion of various influential artists to put their own unique style to their music. I'll now ask that they kick off our celebration tonight with their final song. Please give us one more round of applause for El Brujo Trio. Thank you so much, El Brujo Trio, for your entertainment tonight. We appreciate you guys. We're going to be clapping a lot tonight, so make sure you're nice and ready. This is all of our practice rounds, getting them out of the way. My name is Miriam, Development Coordinator for Junior Achievement of New Mexico, and I'm also the chair for the Albuquerque Volunteers Advisory Board. Some of my fellow board members will be up here at the mic throughout the ceremony. Vaisu Bronk, who's our event chair, she coordinated this entire event. Maria Geisler is our board vice chair, and Dr. Melanie Buchanan Farmer will be up here on stage presenting awards to our awardees. Today, we come to celebrate the impact of fellow community members and their invaluable contributions as volunteers. Our awardees tonight volunteer at museums, connect citizens with healthcare resources, drive senior citizens to doctor's appointments, provide musical instruments and lessons to Opportunity Youth. They support individuals during labor and delivery and step up to serve in critical volunteer roles in our community. Each awardee today is being honored with the highest level of volunteer recognition our city has to offer because of their outstanding contributions as volunteers. Our awardees have dedicated a combined total of more than 4,000 hours, and that's just in this past year. But each of them started their volunteer journey at zero. Everyone in this room tonight has a unique skill set and perspective that they bring to the table, and I encourage each of you sitting in here tonight to reflect on a need in our community and ask yourself how you can play a part of the solution. That's what each of our awardees tonight have done. The Albuquerque Volunteers Advisory Board supports volunteer activities and recognition throughout the city. We get to do fun things like volunteer as a team together with local nonprofits such as Mandy's Farm, Locker 505 Student Clothing Bank, and the APS Clothing Bank. We also do more official things. We provide networking opportunities and support for volunteer coordinators as part of our community of practice events. We co-host recognition receptions with the Office of Civic Engagement to honor Volunteers of the Month alongside One Albuquerque Awards. So if you know an amazing volunteer in your life, in our community, and you think that they deserve recognition as well, please feel free to visit the Volunteer Advisory Board on cityofalbuquerque.gov website, and you can nominate them for a Volunteer of the Month award. Our event committee, board members, and amazing city staffer, Mariah, have spent countless hours curating this event tonight. Will all members of the Albuquerque Volunteers Advisory Board please stand? They're already standing. Thank you to all of our board members for your time and dedication to our board. Each of you are such a gem, and we are all so very different, and we all have this common thread that really weaves us together, and that's passion for our city and for our fellow community members. And so it's really an honor to work with each of you. I'd also like to extend an additional thank you to our board liaison, Mariah Harrison, who is over there in the striped shirt, and she's amazing. Mariah is the nonprofit and philanthropy coordinator for the city of Albuquerque, and she emulates so much passion for our community. Mariah, it is an honor to know you, to work with you, and I'm so grateful for how you always run with my big, crazy ideas. I am so excited to welcome our guests of honor tonight, Mayor of Albuquerque, Tim Keller, and First Lady Elizabeth Kiston Keller. Yes, round of applause. Mayor Keller's presence here tonight reflects his passionate support for the exceptional volunteers who devote themselves to improving our city. And First Lady Kiston Keller is truly an example of unwavering dedication and heartfelt service. They both show up big for our community, demonstrating a deep commitment to our community members. Please join me in expressing our deepest gratitude to First Lady Kristen Keller and Mayor Keller.
All right, the mayor is also coming, but running between lots of things at the same time. We have not figured out teleportation yet, but once we do, so he will be here momentarily. I want to first echo thanks to Miriam and the entire Volunteer Advisory Board, folks who have consistently adapted what this program looks like over time to make sure that it's responsive to the feedback of folks all across our community who are looking for ways to contribute and to get their family and their friends and their neighbors involved as well. So if we can give them another round of applause for putting this together. We are also so thrilled today to be recognizing each of our awardees. And of course, as you know, so much of this is also a thank you to the incredible community members who have nominated them and described their service with such heart and such passion in a way that helps us continue to tell the stories of the work that they have done and continuously look and inspire volunteers across our city who are looking for ways to get engaged. So we cannot thank each of you awardees and the broader communities you're part of for this incredible service. We know that the work you do and the ripple effects, the impacts that it has, have just had a tremendous impact on Albuquerque over this last year, but in most cases, right, over the years and decades of service that each of you represent. So I also want to thank today, as we start, the 1ABQ Media Office for curating a special event, right, and holding it here at the Albuquerque Museum. As some of you know, this room was also filled up yesterday in volunteer recruiting and outreach with city offices, community partners, and truly incredible to see the work folks have done, again, in city departments and across community organizations to be ready to accept, right, the skills, the passion, the energy that folks throughout our community have to offer. We see a lot, right? And I think in the last 7 years, Tim and I have always been blown away by the fact that wherever we are in the city, meeting with groups, with families, with individuals, regardless of the circumstances, folks are always looking for ways to get involved, right, to be part of the solution. And I think we're seeing that now in 2025 more than ever, as folks are looking at, right, big national challenges, big local challenges, and wanting to be part of the local community and all of the different ways that we show up for each other. So a huge thanks again to all of the awardees, but really to all of you in this room who are helping to make that happen and helping to make that possible. So we talk a lot, and Tim will come up just after me. The teleportation worked, I guess. We got him here. But about the importance of what we call, right, the power of us in this moment as well, as we always look for best practices that are happening around the world or around the country. We also remember that we've got best practices, we've got bright spots, we've got incredible world-class innovation and services happening right here at home. And this is emblematic across all sorts of departments, but it's also truly emblematic in our volunteers who bring in fresh ideas, new ways of doing things, and bring in an energy and a creativity and a dedication that connects community partners with city services in truly incredible ways. Miriam's already mentioned a little bit for our awardees of what kind of the aggregate impact, right, of 4,000 hours of service just for 2024. But we have an incredible piece when we zoom out and we look at the impact, even just across city departments, 27,906 total volunteers, right? And we know there's more than that not in the tracking system, but that's because of the work of 531 different community partners that are working with the city all the time to help make this possible. and something like 91,600 volunteers just from the city departments and some of those community partners. So we know when we look at what it means for senior affairs or the biopark, right, or our housing department, to be able to show up for families consistently, we can't do any of that, right, without the power of volunteers as well. So we thank you for sort of seeing those opportunities and really making them happen. And of course, right, we are so proud of the awardees we honor here tonight. This group, right, and it's always hard to select, we get a ton of incredible nominations. But we've got here today a celebration of a young volunteer who worked with 11 different organizations throughout the year. A volunteer who overcame physical challenges and traveled around the state to share the power of music with challenged youth, and volunteers making the time to sit with expectant mothers or patients who are seriously ill and at their most tender moments. This year's Lifetime Achievement winner, who is in Hawaii now, and I wish we could offer that to all of our Lifetime Achievement winners, that's separate, but has also been, right, a rocket scientist and had 36 years of dedicated service for several museums, including the Albuquerque Museum and the National Museum of Nuclear Science. We had the Hal Beale Day proclaimed July 3rd a couple of years ago, but we know, right, as we see his work, and we have several of his colleagues here to celebrate him today, for each of these awardees, the direct work that they do and the lives they touch, and then the ripple effects, right, that go out there, all of the other volunteers that each of you have inspired along the way as well. So we know while we track these numbers and we think about it, the value of volunteer service goes well beyond, right, what we see on a spreadsheet, right, or you know, report back to the VISTA volunteers. The incredible connections that are being made in our community, the level of inspiration, right, the ability of human care, right, at both our most joyous moments and our most challenging moments are just such tremendous gifts for our community and what we're here to celebrate today. So, to the awardees, I think as you will see here, and I think hopefully feel here as you come up to accept your award, and take a moment to soak in not just the family, the friends, the colleagues who have joined you here today, but also all of those at the organizations that you volunteer for who are with you in spirit today. To reflect on that. We get the chance to see in these nominations the great heart and work that goes into describing just the amazing service that you have provided. And while we will have that reflected in so much of today, the depth of it is almost indescribable. So as we work together to realize our vision for Albuquerque as a place where everyone can thrive, we're grateful for all of you, for your time, for your contributions, for your dedication, and your continued efforts to share these incredible stories of service and help inspire those around you that they have opportunities to get engaged as well. And so with that, I think I'm handing things back over to Miriam and then off to Tim. So thank you. Thanks for being here.
I'm just gonna pop out. We did say hi to each other in the hallway. Let's give our First Lady a round of applause. I apologize, I was only like 2 minutes late, and but you all were on time. And so we were supposed to be standing next to each other. But the good news is she was slated to go first, and actually if there's one person I hate to follow in public speaking, it's my wife. Because she's, I think, just incredible at it and just speaks from the heart. Now, I want to, I think, add some additional just remarks and color to what she said and build on it a little bit. But I do want to take a moment, because I'm not sure if we've done it already, but this event in this week and a lot of the city volunteer efforts have grown over time. And we've really transformed the Volunteer Advisory Council in terms of how they connect with volunteering, not just for the city, but all for everyone in the city. And so I want to take a moment, and Mariah runs this for us. I think you all know her. Let's give her a round of applause. I don't know where she went off to. And also, all the advisory board members, maybe quick show of hands. I know we have a few here, most of them right there. Give them a round of applause. And so the vision that we had a while back when we came in was also about trying to unite the concept of like matchmaking. And most of you here have already found your match, and I'm referring to your volunteer match. But it's actually not that different than a dating app, which is exactly what we tried to build for volunteers. And so now some of you have seen this, some of you have used this, but the idea is, you know, on the one side, you put in your interests and your hours and maybe like the days of the week that you want to volunteer. And then we match you with people who are interested in that, right? And on the other end of that, we've got large organizations use a lot of volunteers, whether it's like Roadrunner Food Bank or the United Way or the city of Albuquerque, and they're listing the needs, right? I've got a shortage to walk dogs on Tuesday afternoon at the shelter. And so we find each other. That is done in two ways. It is an awesome app on our website. If you haven't seen it, you should use that. And you can pick like swipe right or swipe left. It's really cool. Or we do it with people, right? We do it the old-fashioned way, in a sense, which is full circle, actually, because I was set up when I met Liz. So you need a third party to like help you connect, right, and find your match. And so we also do that, and that is what, in many ways, the Volunteer Advisory Board does. And also Mariah is a person, and the folks at the city who, like, they target you and they pair you and they go, oh, you'd be really good with this, you know. And so that effort, I think, has really borne fruit in that now we have doubled the number of total volunteers in the city of Albuquerque in the last 5 years. That's incredible. And obviously, we're the more better off because of it. But we also could go a lot further. So I wanted to kind of tell you this story and explain this, because the last part of it is each of you are one of those connectors too. You've had the experience of volunteering or of supporting someone who volunteers, and sharing your story and hearing your story, which is exactly why we like to give these awards, is motivation for others, right? And it's a story that they're like, oh yeah, I'm interested in that. Like, I like the way that helped you or the way you helped someone else, and so I want to do it too. So you're all like kind of our ambassadors out in the community to also inspire other folks to do volunteering. So I think with that, we've heard a little bit about some of our award winners, and some of them even perhaps midwives that may have worked with Liz and I, as I look in the audience. So just want to let you know that there's always a life that is touched on the other side. And usually it's a life, in many cases, a child that now has a guitar. You're going to hear about this if you don't know it already, because of some of the work of one of our award winners. Or it's, in this case, a refugee who has a home because of some of the work of our award winners. But there's also sometimes places. And I think these are important only in that they're both important. But the place volunteering is interesting because that's where you really never see the person on the other side. So I will tell you, I have a favorite bus stop. And I love driving by this bus stop because it is always perfect. The paint is always refreshed. The trash can is always empty. And I've actually seen this happen. If there happens to be a down and out there, I'll drive by like an hour later, and I will usually see our community safety department helping them. But it's because this one bus stop is across from a business that sits at a desk and looks out the window at the bus stop all day. So they adopted that bus stop. And they call right away if there's anything. And we finally said, stop calling about the trash. Could you take it an extra level? Here's a trash bag. Like, you're so much faster than the city, right? It's like 4 hours for us to take out trash. If you really want to do the thing, like, go out there and just empty the trash. And they do it. So this actually happens a lot all over our city too. I won't go into any more examples other than a lot of our parks. You know, we clean our parks every 2 days. But once you have a birthday party, or whatever other festive thing we're doing at the park, jumpy castle for the kids, the trash cans are overflowing, and the dogs need to be picked up after, and it's a Sunday, and our work crew doesn't get there till Wednesday. Here again, we're getting volunteers to say, okay, one day a week, not every day, but I'll get your back on Sunday. And so these are all just examples that I wanted to share with you, big and small, personal, and in sometimes things that we totally take for granted. Why is that bus stop always clean? No one knows that, except for myself and that business, and now all of you. And so these are the kinds of things that we know thousands of Braqueños are doing each and every day in our city. And number one, I'm grateful for it as a person who's lived here, born and raised here, but also I know that even our city workers in those cases are helpful for it, thankful for it, but also all of us benefit from the lives that each of you touch, right? That kid guitar player may be the next Pimentel guitar maker, right? That refugee may now go on to run our Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs. And so that gift keeps on giving. That's the other thing that I think is so special. So while many people talk about the challenges we have, and they are very real, especially around crime and homelessness and in many ways opportunity, I know this is a resilient city. And a lot of people say that word, and I think we understand it historically. Like, we've survived a lot of stuff, including there's statues about this right outside. So we kind of feel that as New Mexicans, we understand that resilience, but I think part of it is also how we are resilient. Part of it is because we're actually a really giving culture. We are a giving place. And it's been that way for a long time, and absolutely, I think, has to do with a lot of our cultural traditions. But it's maintained itself in the current way. And I know this is true because while we may not have like the most per capita income compared to other cities or states, or we don't have the most Fortune 500 companies, or we don't have the rich benefactor who's paying for this museum, and we don't actually, it's your taxpayer money. Because in all the studies, we're on the low end of all of these things. But you know what we're on the high end of? Volunteer hours, number of nonprofits. That's how we've survived. That's core to our resilience. That's who we are. And it's because of you. So that's what we celebrate today. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Awesome. Thank you, First Lady Kristen Keller and Mayor Keller, for your encouraging words. It is now time to honor our first awardee with the National Service Individual of the Year Award. So I'll explain really quick a little bit more about what that is. AmeriCorps is the federal agency for volunteering, service, and civic engagement. The Serve New Mexico Commission is the designated state commission on service and volunteerism. The commission administers funding to AmeriCorps state and national programs. Special thank you to the Serve New Mexico Commission and the New Mexico Department of Workforce Solutions for helping to sponsor this event tonight. Can we get a quick round of applause? Thank you. When National Service Recognition Day launched in 2013, more than 800 mayors recognized the positive impact of AmeriCorps members and AmeriCorps senior volunteers in their communities. Since then, local leaders, including Mayor Keller and First Lady Kristen Keller, have championed and prioritized national service and volunteerism here in Albuquerque. AmeriCorps Seniors features 3 key programs that include the Foster Grandparent Program, the Senior Companion Program, and RSVP. The Senior Companion Program, or SCP, focuses on providing assistance and companionship to older adults who have difficulty with daily living tasks, such as shopping or paying bills. Through this program, AmeriCorps Senior Companions keep seniors independent longer and provide respite to family caregivers. The companions themselves report better health and longevity having served their community. I am so excited to present the National Service Individual of the Year Award to one of Albuquerque's most outstanding AmeriCorps Senior Companions, Edwina Tabares. Let's begin her video.
Edwina is a very caring individual, and one of the things she does is her dedication for service. Before she became a senior companion volunteer, she was already helping her community. So she was helping her neighbors and friends, and she would take them to the senior center. So that's where she found out about the senior companion program. And she wanted to help even more seniors in need. She truly cares about her clients, her community. She's always going above and beyond to make sure they're okay and they're being taken care of.
It began probably with my mother. She had Alzheimer's, so we took care of her, the family did. And because of her, I learned a lot of the symptoms of Alzheimer patients. And from there, we took care of her. Then later on, I took care of this other priest friend of mine. And after that, I took care of my neighbor. And then one day, I just happened to be looking at some of the flyers here, and I noticed there was a senior companion program. And I decided to make it legal.
Edwina has been great to work with since the beginning, since day one. I can tell she truly cares about helping people. She's always been super helpful with myself and with our staff. When it comes to training, we know we can count on her. She's always there to help shadow new volunteers, and she's a great role model of what our program does and how we help our seniors. She's always going above and beyond to help them get resources, to help them with the things that they need, such as transportation, filling out forms, picking up medications, even just being there for them and listening to them. A lot of these seniors don't have someone close to them where they can talk to them just like a friend.
One of my clients that I have, he has Parkinson's, and he really, really appreciates the fact that I'm there. I do shopping for him, and I take him to the dentist or just watch TV together. He loves to sing. He used to be in a band, so if nothing else, we just sit there and sing songs for a few hours, you know, and he really appreciates the fact that I come by. He's always telling me, is it time to go already? So that makes me feel good. So I like that. I enjoy just being with them. They all need a little bit of help, and that's what I do too. They help me, and I have the time, and I'm able to go visit with them and take them here, take them there, take them shopping.
I think Edwina is a very caring individual, and it shows how the community itself cares about others, how we want to look after our seniors, and just her volunteer work, even outside of the senior companion program, you can really see that she's caring, that she cares about that connection for herself. She's mentioned that the program has helped her stay active and engaged.
I recommend it for other people if they have the time to do it. I encourage other volunteers by letting them know what I do. And I let them know that it's a blessing when you think about it. And they see that I enjoy my job, so they figure, well, maybe they could do it too. So hopefully that helps and encourages them to do it also.
As a companion, get it, girl. As a companion, Edwina has touched the lives of so many seniors and fellow volunteers. Many thanks to Edwina for her dedication as a senior companion. I'm now going to turn the mic over to our event chair, Vaisu Bronk, for our next set of awardees. Thank you all.
Thanks, Miriam. Good evening, everyone. I am Vaisu Bronk. I'm the manager of volunteer programs and the clothing bank at Albuquerque Public Schools. And I have the honor to now present to you our next three amazing volunteers. This year's Volunteer Group of the Year is an incredible group of volunteers who are always on call to step in to offer unwavering support during some of the most important, vulnerable, and life-changing moments for expectant parents, childbirth. Whether it's offering a calming presence, providing physical or emotional support, or simply being there when families need it the most. Volunteer birth companions make a profound impact on the birthing journey. Let's begin their video.
Currently, the program, we provide on-call support and one brief prenatal, usually over the phone, appointment. So our volunteers sign up for 4 12-hour shifts of being on call. Patients can call us. Providers often will be the one who calls. And so when there is a need for support, the volunteer on call will get a phone call, or if there's nobody, we try to find a volunteer who's available. And we provide continuous labor support. So we help the laboring person, we help the support people that the laboring person brings in. And doula support has been shown to substantially reduce interventions, C-sections. It promotes better breastfeeding, can reduce low birth weight and preterm birth. So there are lots of health benefits.
I have felt really passionate about the birth experience for a long time, since the birth of my first child. And when my kids got to an age and a place in our family that I felt like I could really put more time and work and heart into this, I became a volunteer here at UNMH with their birth companion program. It has been so impactful in so many ways because you connect with these families in such a powerful and intimate and vulnerable and sacred moment in their life when they are bringing in a child into the world. And so there is nothing like birth work. And to be a part of this and to be a part of their story for just that moment in time is really, really powerful and very meaningful.
So it got started because I, late in my life, learned what a doula is and can do, and I decided to become one. It's difficult for many families to afford a doula. So what this program does is it provides doula services to people who either wouldn't even know such a person exists or would like a doula but can't afford it.
This work really does have a big impact on you, being able to see the difference that you're making in such a vulnerable time for people, for families, for women, whoever is present. It's a scary time and it's one of the hardest things you're ever gonna go through. So being able to make a positive impact on that moment, it really does, it touches you to be able to do that.
Birth impacts all of us. It is a part of every single one of our stories because every single human being was born. And so whether you care about someone who is about to give birth or you are going to give birth yourself, birth is a part of all of our human story.
If you have any interest in birth work, maternal and child health, anything like that, I think this is an amazing program. It really you get to see this from a different light. Like, if you're interested in going any of those fields, it's amazing, and you could really understand it from both maybe a provider perspective in the future, but also the patient perspective in the moment whenever you're connecting with the people that are giving birth. And I think that experience in this program could actually shape you to be an amazing care provider in the future.
Their heartfelt work is a reminder of the incredible power of human connection, offering comfort and care that families will never forget, and helping to create a ripple effect of healthier births and a more connected community. Accepting the award is Paula Reese, a founder and volunteer. Congratulations, UNM Birth Companions. While most teens are juggling hectic schedules and thinking about what's next, our Youth Volunteer of the Year is also focused on making a remarkable impact in her community at just 15 years old in multifaceted ways. She's 16 now, okay. Still impressive. Whether it's supporting those facing homelessness to assisting at events that bring people together for important causes, her dedication to helping people through difficult times inspires others to get involved. Let's begin her video.
I nominated Liliana because I saw her in so many different areas that I'm everywhere, and it just was so unique to see a youth be at places where people are having the hardest time of their life, but also having the funnest time of their life in so many different areas. And I looked at it as, if I didn't nominate her, she may not have been recognized because she's, everywhere, and without that being seen by one person, she may not have gotten that recognition.
Well, I started volunteering at the library, something small, because I just like involving with the community and I love to read, so that was a good start. Departments I volunteered for have been Senior Affairs, Gateway Family, and Albuquerque Reach through Whittier Elementary School. Senior Affairs, I help coordinate with senior events, like such things as bingo or when we have senior dances. At Gateway, I run the arts and crafts room, so I'm just in charge of helping the children get in touch with their creative side, allow them to be free and be kids.
We had fun with resource fairs, with Easter, and while I was hopping around as the Easter Bunny, she was over there serving snacks and drinks, and so none of this has been, hey, I'm gonna be here, you should be there too. It's been, I show up somewhere and lo and behold, she's there too.
At my Whittier Elementary for Albuquerque Reads, I am reading tutor, so I help kids read and write sentences. Currently, I'm doing the Housing Family Navigation Center at Gateway. I help pass out food, I help set up, I did a Christmas one where I was able to package to gift wrap all the Christmas donations. I was able to hand them out. Thanksgiving, I was able to hand out food and take them up to their rooms if needed.
With all the impact that she's done, she can then go on and use that as a resume and use it for scholarships for her first job. It's not just a singular reason why you should do it, because all of that impact will shape the future of what you're going to be doing.
So I volunteer because I find it important to be in touch with my community as a youth, because there's so many different areas where as youth, we're not all on the same step. Everybody's in different areas, and it's nice to keep us all connected to help us all grow at the same pace. Love to thank my grandma. She's been my main supporter. I love her so much. She's the one that got me into the volunteer community. She's the one that opens up so many doors and allows me to actually go places instead of just being indoors all the time. I would like to thank all of my bosses, such as Pete Garcia and Elon, who's a part of the Senior Affairs Department. They both have made a really big difference on my lives, just taking me under their wing and allowing me to be able to learn from them and give me other learning opportunities.
Liliana is right on track to do even more incredible things in the future to make a meaningful difference in the lives of those who need it most. Congratulations, Liliana Marie Henley. Our Older Adult Volunteer of the Year empowers at-risk youth through music, providing music education, resources, and so far, over 340 guitars to youth detention centers, schools, and recovery centers across the state. He's inspired a community of musicians to join this musical mission, all while overcoming health challenges that ended his own guitar playing career with remarkable resilience. Let's look at his video.
Phil is a musician who has always been to be there, you know, and when he was young, he learned how to play guitar and stuff. And when you get into the schools and stuff and you see the kids and they need help, they do, they need help. And the guitars are great because it gets both sides of their brains going, and that's really good. And then they get so excited. They love him. They do, the kids love him because he'll sit down and help with them a little bit and with their finger positions, but they learn really pretty fast. Yeah, Phil does really good with the kids.
Yeah, how this all started was I became disabled from a freak accident from a routine blood test 16 years ago. So I wanted to stay involved with guitar. My wife Linda had the idea of, you know, getting guitars out to kids. So we started Risen Music Ministry and the Freedom in Music Project. We're a 501c3, and the Freedom in Music Project is 100% secular because we're bringing out guitars and all the goodies, like Linda said, for the guitars for the kids to play. And that's how it all came about, because I wanted to stay involved with music because I love music, and I know it changed my life greatly, and I know it can change you know, young people's lives if they put the energy into the music.
We always give them a guitar. We gave away a bunch of them at the Lobo, and this one kid, he finally took the case off, and he goes, "Is it really mine?" "Yes, it's really yours," and all the accessories come with it.
Our mission statement is bringing hope through music to challenged youth, and that's what it's all about. You know, we're getting guitars out to kids in youth detention centers. Recently, we focused on Title I schools, the poorest schools. In Albuquerque, we were able to deliver 92 guitars, you know, with cases, with picks, with straps, with humidifiers, with electronic tuners, extra batteries, extra strings. We give them everything so they can have a little guitar program, such as they have at YDDC. Running a 501c3 is a full-time job because we're 100% volunteer. So anyway, I end up doing anything. Fundraising, writing grants, putting together a yearly blues festival. That's a big undertaking which you have to promote way in advance. And we've done them on amphitheaters up in Taos, we've done them at the Chemo, we've done them at the Lobo, and I've put all that stuff together. We have had a lot of help. We have musicians that have helped us. The High Desert Blues Band, we go out and play, and every cent we make goes to getting guitars for kids.
There's a lot of need here, so that was the perfect thing for us to do for other people.
Guitar companies have helped us. We received several guitars from Gibson. They would send us a high-end guitar once a year that then we would raffle off. I mean, these guitars are $8,000, $10,000 guitars. Breaking Bad sent us stuff for our fundraiser at the Chemo. They signed a bunch of stuff, you know, they came through. And I couldn't believe it. It was like the week before, but we got all the stuff, we sold it all. It's all about turning the kids onto the power of music. And as you well know about the drug problem out here, getting them off of that particular situation where they can just have an opportunity to express themselves a little bit differently with a guitar.
Philip harnesses the power of music to ignite hope and empower young people facing challenges to unlock their potential. Congratulations to Philip Oliveira. Now I'd like to welcome our board vice chair, Maria Geisler, so we can meet our final two winners. Maria?
Hello, my name is Maria Geisler, and I am the Development Coordinator with the American Lung Association, as well as the Vice Chair of the Volunteer Advisory Board. It's my honor to present the 2025 Lifetime Achievement Award to someone whose century-long journey has been defined by service, scientific curiosity, and unwavering dedication to our community. At 102 years young, Harold, or Hal, embodies the very essence of volunteerism. It's come to our attention recently that Hal has spent a significant amount of time volunteering here at the Albuquerque Museum and at other city museums, offering expertise and kindness. Known affectionately as the Chief Scrounger at the National Museum of Nuclear Science and History, Hal has spent over 36 years transforming his remarkable life experiences as a veteran, Manhattan Project participant, and rocket scientist into opportunities to both educate and inspire others. Let's begin his video.
Hal is a valued part of our family here at the National Museum of Nuclear Science and History. He's also part of the family at the Albuquerque Museum, at the Maxwell Museum of Anthropology. So his hands are in many different, very wonderful organizations.
So I have had the pleasure of knowing Hal for over 15 years now at my time with the museum. And I've learned so much from him, but probably the most inspirational aspect of Hal would be the fact that living life is about the experiences that come and go, being around friends and family and people who you really care about, and giving back to organizations that really make a difference to you as a person. The fact that he's traveled so much and has experienced so many things in his life, it inspires me that life is not just about the things that you have, it's the experiences you make with the people that you care about. And that to me has just meant so much learning from him.
I feel personally really lucky to have spent time with somebody who worked on the Manhattan Project and has done all of these different things, but then will just sit down with you and have a conversation, and he's very humble, but has done so many things. Like, it's just amazing. And I just feel very fortunate myself.
Well, I first started volunteering when I moved to Albuquerque about 50 years ago, because I had been working back in World War II. I'm 102 years old, by the way. In World War II, I was on the Manhattan Project, the atomic bomb project, and I had some stuff left over, and I came over to this small museum on the base, operated by the Department of Energy, and I asked them if they could use some of these things. And there was a very active young lady who was in charge of it, Joni Heslop, who 15 minutes after I walked in there, I walked out and I was a charter member of the Atomic Museum Foundation and also on the board of directors.
I've been with the museum for over 15 years, and every time I walk around our museum with Hal Bell, I learn something new. Whether it is where a certain object or artifact came from, or the history and its significance, he truly takes the time to teach people about all of the things that he knows. And he cares deeply about the museum and our staff and our volunteers.
I'm very grateful for receiving this Lifetime Award, and Lifetime just means keep on going and keep on pushing and doing the things you want to do and things that are useful and exciting, and you find that every time I come here. I spend a little extra time wandering around through the exhibit area, find somebody staring at something and say, "Can I tell you about this?" And they walk away and they're just happy as can be because somebody has given them a secret from the museum.
Our volunteers are a variety of ages, a variety of people, and for them to be able to look up to someone who I think is really kind of the ideal volunteer, and he's more than he's more than a volunteer to us, but technically, you know, he is a volunteer. And I think for them to have someone to look up to is very important. So I kind of want to make a pin that says, be more like Hal.
Well, I think that volunteers, first of all, are just wonderful people. Museums and some places like this, educational institutions, just couldn't exist without them.
Hal truly is the epitome of giving back to one's community. And when he cares, he truly puts his mark on every place that he's a part of.
Hal has given so much of himself to our community through his spirit of service and genuine belief in a better tomorrow. Here to accept the award on his behalf is Maria Saltemeyer, nominator and the volunteer coordinator at the Museum of Nuclear Science. Please join me in celebrating a century of service and a lifetime of inspiration as we honor Hal. Congratulations, Hal. This next award is a personal honor for me to be able to present. The 2025 Volunteer of the Year Award is someone I have the privilege to call my friend, and whose extraordinary journey exemplifies resilience, compassion, and unwavering commitment to our community. Karen Smoot. For over 12 years, I've had the privilege to watch Karen single-handedly lead New Mexico's largest idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis support group, which you'll hear about shortly. But Karen's personal warmth and remarkable determination extend beyond her support group to advocating at the highest levels. She has advocated in both Santa Fe and DC, educating lawmakers on critical health care reforms that needed to protect those with lung disease. Her compelling personal story, combined with her healthcare and background experience, makes her an exceptional champion for lung health across the nation. But Karen's impact extends beyond lung health through countless volunteer efforts. Her presence immediately lifts spirits and renews our collective purpose. Let's begin her video.
Well, I've known Karen for quite a long time, even before she came onto the American Lung Association board. I was on the board before her and invited her on, and I've known her to be involved in service in the community for all the time I've known her. She's just one of those people who wants to give and help people out. It's just part of who she is. It's clear that when she helps people, it's coming from her heart. It's something that means a lot to her. She often says that she gets more out of it than she's giving, but that's really not true. She wants to see people do better, and because we see her doing that, it makes a lot of us want to do more to help other people as well. So she's influencing not just the people who are receiving her volunteer work, but she's influencing other volunteers to be better.
I provide speakers and educational materials in order to help those that have the same or similar disease that I do. And the joy that I get from this is being able to see individuals that need that support. They're at all different stages of the disease. They may have just been diagnosed, and those that have had it for several years, and they don't know where to turn. Yes, they have their physicians, and yes, they have medication, but they need support in trying to talk to other people that have similar disease. So the joy that I get is seeing their faces when they know that other people care and support them.
You know, just specifically in the idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis support group, people there will tell you that her work has been invaluable. There really wasn't anything like that for them. And there's a lot of support that people get when they can talk to people who have the same conditions they have. They can't get that anywhere else. Again, she says that she gets more out of the group than she gives, but that's clearly false. She gives so much.
The service that is provided through the support group is really
information about education and about diagnosis and about treatment. So all of that is provided at the support group. In this group, oftentimes they share information like how much oxygen are you on? And so they can go back to their doctors, because we're real careful. I'm not giving any medical advice. That's not our role. I'm not a physician, and we don't do that in the support group. But we may encourage them to call their doctor or call somebody about their questions.
Me, the story of Albuquerque and the promise of Albuquerque really resides in the word community. And if we can just build more and more of this sense of community, of us looking out for each other rather than being separate neighborhoods that are divided, we can be a better city. And she does that. I think that because she exemplifies this willingness and desire to help other people, if we all kind of take that example and run with it, it'll make the entire city better.
I was looking for purpose and what I could do that would help in the community. But I looked to other volunteer activities, because we have the support group is held once a month, and I looked for other volunteer activities. And I volunteer through Catholic Charities, through refugee, work with refugee families. One family from Afghanistan that I have been working with for about 7 or 8 years. I helped them get their citizenship, and through Oasis, which is a lifelong learning program, that was another part of what I wanted to do to continue learning. And now I have a little student from Syria who I also tutor after school. I feel that volunteering has really expanded my life. I really must say that without any scientific evidence, I think that volunteering it gives you greater longevity. I said to myself, after reading the studies that said I had 3 to 5 years to live, that I needed to have purpose, and how I could get that purpose is through volunteering.
Years ago, doctors gave Karen just 6 months to live due to a chronic and terminal lung disease. Instead of surrendering to this prognosis, she chose to embody the true spirit of selfless service, which, while she could be enjoying a well-deserved retirement, she instead channels her professional expertise, wisdom, and leadership into making our community stronger every day. Thank you, Karen, and congratulations. At this time, I'd like to welcome Vice Sue Bronk back to the stage.
Thank you, Maria. Wow. I hope you're as inspired as I am to witness the incredible impact of so many dedicated volunteers. Congratulations to all of our amazing volunteers and winners. Before we close today's event, I want to once again recognize and give a heartfelt thank you to Mariah Harrison, our incredible board liaison. Can you wave, Mariah? We want to stand up. Stand up. There she is. Her dedication and behind-the-scenes support for the Volunteer Advisory Board and events like today and all of our volunteer celebrations are truly what makes them special and so successful. Thank you, Mariah. So, as we wrap up today's 10th Mayor's Day of Volunteer Recognition, I want to highlight the fact that while today we've highlighted some outstanding volunteers, we also celebrate every volunteer who gives their time and efforts to improve our community. It's through your actions that we see positive changes that make our city stronger and better every day. So, on behalf of the Volunteer Advisory Board, I encourage each of you to keep volunteering because good things happen when people volunteer. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please enjoy the rest of the reception. And if you'd like to take photos with awardees, you can do so in the lobby. We have a step and repeat, a backdrop set up, or you can do it up here on stage. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you for being the heart of our community.